Can a plasma cutter at this price point, that's this color, actually do its job? I'm gonna find out. Hey there, I'm Drew. This is a review of YesWelder's 55 amp 110 or 220 volt plasma cutter. I don't like when these reviews drag on, so I'm gonna try my best to keep it moving. I'm gonna briefly go over setup and what comes with this machine. Then I'm gonna start cutting stainless and carbon steel, starting with thin gauge, working my way up until I max the machine out. I'm gonna use 110 and 220 for that. And at the end, I'll give it an overall rating and tell you a couple ways you can actually save some pretty good money on this machine. This is all happening within the next 8 minutes, so let's get right into it. So my first impressions were good. This thing was packaged properly. It arrived with no damage. Also, I do love the color. It's unique, and you will hands down have the prettiest machine on the job site. As far as I know, this color has not been released yet. You can check the link in my description to see if it's available, but it should be coming soon. And they did send this machine to me, but they're not paying me a dime to say nice things. So you're getting my honest opinion.
It comes with everything you need. Setup is very easy and only requires a few basic hand tools. Your ground lead is 10 feet long and pretty standard on a unit like this. The torch lead is 13 feet long. Torch itself seems all right. Feels comfortable in my hand. It's got this cheap plastic safety cover, which appears to be easily breakable, offable. So that'll be happening right after I'm done with this video. And the 220 adapter is also included. So this is an air separator regulator that comes with the machine. I mounted it using the 2 screws that were supplied. Now you do want the driest possible air when you're plasma cutting, and that's no matter what machine you're running. Plasma cutting with moist air can shorten the life of your electrodes and machine. So I supplied this air fitting, but it did come with the push to connect, the poly tubing, the hose clamp, and the plug, along with a few spare parts. If you were already familiar with the Cut 55 DS, you've probably seen them with the plug down here under the drain. That was kind of a problem in the past, so it looks like they took care of that. And they also moved the fan down and over a little bit. Some specs for the machine are printed on the back. X is your rated duty cycles. Next is your rated output in amps, followed by volts. Now let's go over some settings. This is your current control knob. It's not actually your amps because it goes up to 55 no matter what power source you're using. The manual calls this number your current value. This light here is your power. The next light over is an overheating indicator. The machine will actually stop running until the machine has cooled down and the light goes off. The light on the far right is your torch protection indicator. It lights up if your consumables aren't tight or your torch head is shorted. 2T means you just press and hold the trigger as long as you want to cut and release when you're done. That's the most common. That's what I usually use. 4T allows you to press and release to initiate the arc, make your cut, then press and release to terminate the arc. I think T stands for touch, 2-touch and 4-touch, but I may have just made that up. I'm not really sure. Now this one is your gas check indicator. You can hit that and use the knob on the regulator on the back of your machine to set the pressure. I was disappointed to find out this machine is not very good at cutting plasma, but it is pretty good at cutting stainless and carbon. I started cutting 21 gauge stainless steel. That's 1/32 of an inch. I'm trying to dial in the amps and the airflow to get the least amount of slag. It was hard on the thin gauge, but the faster I went, the cleaner the cuts got. I couldn't eliminate all the slag, but the cut itself came out pretty nice. This is a chart that I use as a guideline when setting up my machine. It gives a suggested amperage and PSI for any given metal thickness. Screenshot that if you like. Now I'm cutting 11 gauge or 1/8 inch stainless. So far I've only used 110 power. And I was able to make some pretty nice cuts on it with 5 amps to spare. This is your friendly reminder to always wear at least shade 4 when plasma cutting. I'm actually running a shade 10 in my Jackson hood. I have no problem seeing. However, I'm also not following any lines. So I got some 1/4 inch stainless, maxed out the machine, and promptly tripped my 20 amp breaker. I turned the machine down 5, and this time I nearly made it through my 2x1/4 stainless steel flat stock. They do claim the machine can clean cut up to 5/16 steel on 110. I know this is stainless, but if you're limited entirely to 110 power, you might want to stick to thinner materials. Clean cut is a little bit of a stretch, but it did get the job done. So now I'm going to plug her into 220. And as you would expect, she sliced right through. The machine comes with two electrodes, one with a smaller hole and one with a larger hole. At this point, I switched to the one with the larger opening. And there is a much cleaner cut. Then I pulled the rustiest piece of metal off of my scrap pile. This is 3/8 thick carbon steel. One thing I didn't mention yet is that this is a pilot arc machine. Your electrode does not have to be touching the workpiece to initiate the arc. It uses high freak to start, and that's what the wire standoff on the torch is for. It makes it easy to drag consistently without touching your electrode. This is 7/16 angle. It is painted, and that was no problem for the pilot arc. I actually got a really clean cut here. I was kind of impressed. Now I jump up to 1/2 inch rusty angle iron, and I actually get a really clean cut here as well. They claim that it clean cuts 1/2 inch, and I would agree. One thing I forgot to mention earlier is that the fan on the machine does run all the time. It's pretty quiet though. You certainly shouldn't hear it above your air compressor. Just for good measure, I also cut some 1/2 inch stainless. It didn't cut it quite as clean as the carbon steel, but it did pretty good, and you can decide for yourself. I wasn't originally planning on doing this, but I found a piece of 3/4 inch stainless plate. They claim that it severs up to 3/4. I was pretty skeptical, but I wanted to push the machine to its limits. It took forever, but that piece actually dropped off, to my utter flabbergastation.
So I'm pretty impressed. At $450, I don't think you can go wrong with this machine. So in light of that price point and the target customers I think they're trying to reach with this, I'm gonna rate it a solid 12.2 out of 14. And now obviously I can't speak for durability, I just got it, but I'll be sure to update you in the future if anything changes. So if you're a hobbyist, a beginner, or a professional who cuts relatively light gauge stainless on occasion, I would recommend this machine to you. They make it really easy to buy consumables. Just jump on their website, which I have linked in the description below. And that reminds me, they did give me a discount code. That's Blue Collar Drew. Use that at checkout for 10% off. They also run a lot of discount codes on their website. It's at the banner at the top. They almost always have something going on there. So check that out. Right now they're running 30% off everything on the website. So go ahead and use their discount code. Makes no difference to me. But 30% off a $450 machine, that's like carry the one, $315. Hey, if you enjoyed this short to the point style review, let me know in the comments what you want to see reviewed in the future, whether it's tools, equipment, anything. I'll see what I can do. If you hated it, on the other hand, be sure to not subscribe. That is the best way to let me know not to waste any more time and energy making videos. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm Drew, and I'm Welding America.